one package. We got a second package. And this big old one right here. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm in my car. This is my second time filming this video and my husband's at work, so I'm in my car for today. That's the vibes. The car. Today is my birthday and I wanted to share with you guys the books that I bought myself for my birthday. I went a little overboard, so context, I've been on a book buying ban for a few months and I went a little overboard with the books that I got for my birthday. I got 24 books. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys what I got. I bought my books from 4 different places: Barnes & Noble's, Pango Books, Book Outlet, and Amazon. I'm gonna go from least to greatest. Starting off is the book that I got from Barnes & Noble. The book that I got from Barnes & Noble is By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. I know this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, don't know too much about it. And with books, that's kind of how I like it. I don't like knowing way too much about it. I like going into books somewhat unknowingly. I'm very excited to read it. I love the cover. The cover is so pretty. And I've been wanting to read a Jasmine Guillory book for a while now, so I'm very excited to have picked this one up. Next are the books that I got from Book Outlet. I got 4 books from Book Outlet, and let's get into the first one. The first book that I got from there is Passing by Nella Larsen. This is a movie on Netflix, and watching the movie, I did not know it was a book. When I found out it was a book, I had to get it. I had to read it because I absolutely love the movie. I know there was like some conversation about like the ending of the movie compared to the ending of the book, and I really wanted to know what the ending of the book was. Rewatch the movie and like figure out like what I have to like offer to that conversation. So this book is about 2 girls in New York, Harlem specifically. They're both black. They both, as well, according to the movie, they both are kind of passing, but one lives their life as a black woman, and the other black woman, she lives her life as a white woman because she's able to pass. So she lives her life as a white woman, she married a white man, right? They run into each other, and the woman who lives in Harlem, who's living her life like as the black woman that she is, she's very intrigued about her friend and the fact that she lives her life as a white woman, and the story just ensues from there. I'm very excited to have this book. I've been wanting it for a while and I can't wait to read it. The next book that I got from Book Outlet is Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac by Gabrielle Zevin. I don't really know too much about this book. You know, I read the synopsis and I was very intrigued by the synopsis, but I guess something happens to the main character. She loses her memory, I think, and the story just goes from there, I guess. I'm quite excited to read this book. Every book that I own, I am very excited to read. So you're going to be hearing that a lot from me lately. But yes, glad that I picked this up. Next book I got is A Taxonomy of Love by Rachel Allen. I don't know too much about this book other than the fact that I guess the main character, he probably hasn't been in a lot of relationships, and I guess he sees a girl or someone that he's like intrigued by, and I think he like tries to approach love like in a scientific sense. I haven't read too many romances, especially one coming from like a scientific standpoint, or like how to approach love like in a scientific standpoint, so I am very excited to read it. The last book that I got from Book Outlet is Idle Burning by Usami. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I did not know of this book's existence until I was watching a video that Hannah from A Clockwork Reader did, and I was very intrigued by the book. Hannah was saying how the book speaks to like fan culture, fan obsession, cancel culture, I believe, and I am very intrigued by like art that speaks to stuff like that, so I am very excited to read this one. And it's a really short book. I think it's like less than 200 pages, so yeah, very excited for this one. Next, I will be going into the books that I got from Pango Books. The first book that I got from Pango Books is a very popular book. It's a dark academia book, and I've seen it all over like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. And dark academia isn't like my main genre. I have one dark academia book, and that is Olive Blake's The Atlas Six. Yeah, let me just show you. I got Babel by R.F. Kuang. I don't really know too much about this book other than the fact that it's set in like Oxford, and yeah, That's all I know, but like I've heard such good things about it, and I kind of want to read it, and I kind of want to like branch out into like a new genre of books. Next, I got Maame by Jessica George. I don't know too much about this book other than the fact that the author explores the themes of like family, familial duty, and womanhood. I was very intrigued by like the themes that the book talks about because I haven't like read too many fiction books, especially adult fiction books that talks about those themes. I'm pretty sure they're out there. I just like haven't came across any that I would be interested in, but I'm interested in this one and I'm very excited to read it. Next, I got Rootless by Krystle, Zara, Appiah. I don't know too much about this book other than the fact that this woman who has a husband and a child just dips. She just takes all the money out the bank and just dips, girl. And so I'm very excited to read this book and to see what led to her decisions and how her decision affects her family. Next, I got The Black Queen by Juanta. I'm not really sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Emill. All I know is that this book is giving me Carrie vibes. It's giving me the Weight of Blood vibes. I'm so very excited to read this. Anything that has to do with like something Carrie-esque, like a high school setting, prom setting, I'm very intrigued. So definitely excited to read this book. Next, I got Your Driver is Waiting by Priya. All I know about this book is that it's inspired by a movie. I think the movie is called Taxi Driver. And so I actually plan on watching the movie before I read this book because any book inspired by a movie, a show, a song, whatever, I love reading those kind of books because I love taking like a song and like writing something inspired by it. So I'm definitely so excited to read this book. And also, can we just like give a moment for this cover? Look at this. Like, look at this cover. Oh my gosh. I was definitely drawn in by the cover for sure. But I am so excited to read this book. The next book that I got is Together We Caught Fire by Eva B. Gibson. What I know about this book is that this girl who is attracted to this guy ends up becoming step siblings. So their parents get married, and I was very intrigued mainly because it reminded me of the ending to You Drive Me Crazy. So at the end of that movie, her and her ex-best friend, now best friend, love interest, or whatever, they end up like developing like this thing, and then when they come back from Centennial, I guess that's like their prom or their homecoming, I don't remember, but it's called Centennial. So when they come home from Centennial, they find out that their parents, so MJ Hart's mom and the love interest, his dad, that they've been hooking up and that they're gonna be moving in together. So I don't know if the parents planned on getting married or if they're just like dating and moving in and whatnot. They decide to move in together, they tell the kids, and then they run off into the other person's backyard in the treehouse to, you know, do what it do, I guess. So it reminded me of that ending, and I kind of wanted to see like how this story goes, because in my mind I'm like taking what happened at the end of You Drive Me Crazy and seeing what it could have been like in this book. I'm excited to read this one. Next, I got a book that I have been wanting for a very long time. I had checked this book out of the library, but I realized because I wanted to annotate it, I needed to own it. This is a very popular book, definitely seen it all over the internet. It is If We Were Villains by emill. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to own this book. It's basically like I want to say a murder mystery, like a whodunit. All I know is that this guy who's been in jail for a while, for like 10 years I think, he's confessing to a crime, and I don't know if he's confessing to the crime or if he's telling like what actually happened, but that's happening, and it's set in like a Shakespearean, I want to say. It's written like a stage play, I guess. It's like in that format, and I love that. I love that so much, and so I'm very excited to read this book. The last book that I got from Pango Books is Aphrodite and the Duke. I don't know a lot about this. I don't know anything about this book. All I know is that it's giving me Bridgerton vibes. It has a black woman as the lead, and I am so excited to read it. So now we're going into all the books that I got from Amazon. First book that I got from Amazon is Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. Again, this book has been all over the internet, especially TikTok, and I actually saw a TikTok that made me want to get this book. So the TikTok was basically the wife was like, they were on a plane, and I guess she said to the flight attendant, or the flight attendant, like, get me something and this for my husband, something along those lines. And the flight attendant was like being like real catty, like, oh, you're married? and then in the TikTok it goes to the husband. He was like, give my wife whatever she wants or something, and I was like, that's all I needed. That's all I needed to get this book, and I'm so excited to read it. The next book that I got is From Lukov with Love by Mariana Zapata. I've been wanting to read one of her books for a very long time. I heard that she does really good slow burns, and that is one of my favorite tropes. I love a good slow burn. So I am so excited to read this one. The next book that I got just recently came out. It's the 4th book in a series, and it is For You and Only You by Caroline Kepnes. The 4th book in the series. I'm just so excited to read this book. I'm still in the middle of the 2nd book. I know. Joe was doing a lot of things that gave me secondhand embarrassment, and I had to put it down for a while. But I am really thinking about rereading the first one and like making a whole thing out of it to get to this book. So yes, so excited to read this one. Next, I got a book of poetry, and it is Directed by Desire by June Jordan. I have been wanting this book for so long. Fun fact about me, I love poetry. I love reading poetry, love listening to poetry, and I love writing poetry. I've actually written some poetry that I like put online, like in the form of an album, and yes, it's on my channel if you want to check it out. I've been wanting this book for a while. I learned that this poet has been like an inspiration for some poets that I love listening to. I was like, if the poets that I love her, then I gotta read her work. Like, what am I doing? So very excited to read this. The next book that I got is 42 Minutes by Janay, Harden. All I know about this book is that the main character's mom is schizophrenic and she's in a mental institution. That's all I know. I don't really know much about it. I got this book because I'm currently in my psychology master's program, and I was very intrigued to see how someone would write a story about mental health, especially with Black people. So I was like, let me pick this up so I can read it, and I'm very excited. Also, the pages have like this little design. I don't know if you can see it. The light is just like crazy. But yeah, it has this design, and I just find it so cool. So I'm excited to read this book. So if you watch my latest video talking about all the books that I read in 2022, then you would know that one of my favorite authors from 2022 is Tiffany D. Jackson, and that I've been wanting to read a lot more of her stuff. So I got Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. It's her debut novel, and I've been wanting this book for so long because I heard like it's a really good thriller, and like the ending, I heard the ending was something that got a lot of people riled up, so I had to get it, and I'm so excited to read this book. Tiffany, if you're watching, you're probably not, but if you are, I absolutely love your stuff. I love your writing, and I can't wait to read your whole entire collection. The next book that I got is a Christian romance thriller, and that is Every Voice Ain't From God by Tanisha Stewart. Now, I have never heard of a Christian romance thriller, but I am intrigued, baby. I am intrigued. What I know so far about the story is that this guy has been into this girl since high school. He's always like knew or thought that she was the one, and so he's been at like church, like praying about it, trying to get confirmation, and he gets confirmation one night, I think at a service, and they end up getting engaged, and the next day girl breaks up with him, child, and so he's just like really broken up about it because he really wants to be with her. And I guess she reaches out to him like, look, maybe if our paths cross again after college, we can give it another try. So he's like keeping hope alive, and she ends up getting engaged to another dude, and he's like, yeah, no, he needs to be eliminated. That's what it says in the synopsis. He thinks that her fiance needs to be eliminated, and so I am very excited to read this book. Next, I got Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and all I'm going to say is I am very excited to read this book. Yes. I'm just going to leave it at that. The next book I got is also a very popular book all over TikTok, all over YouTube, but mainly TikTok, I think. And that is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This book has been like compared to like Gossip Girl, like it brings Gossip Girl vibe. It's set in the UK, and that was all I needed. Okay, so fun fact, I do not like the original Gossip Girl. I said it. I absolutely adored the reboot, mainly because it had a lot more characters of color in it, and I'm pretty sure that's why I liked it, but I love the reboot, and it got canceled, I feel like, way too soon. So to bring back some Gossip Girl vibes to my life, I decided to pick up Magnolia Park. So excited to read this one. I got another Penelope Douglas book, and that is Misconduct. In this book, I think it deals with a teacher who's attracted to her student's dad, and the dad is a bit older. So very, very, very excited for this one. And lastly, the last book that I got from Amazon is Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. I don't know too much about this book other than the fact that the main character, she keeps a list. She loves lists, which, girl, I understand because I love good lists too, but she keeps a list and that list gets stolen and she ends up getting blackmailed into doing everything that's on that list. I think that's like such a fun concept and I am so excited to read this book. So that is all the books that I bought for my birthday, all 24 books for my 25th birthday. Yes, I'm going to be 25. I am so excited to read this book. And thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. If you made it this far, go ahead and drop a little book stack emoji in the comments. And make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to my channel for more content. And yeah, I'll see you next time.